Okay, so how do I stop having panic attacks? Now, if you're going through panic attacks and it seems like they're hanging around, the last thing you want to do is sorry, that's my dog playing with her squeaker. The last thing you want to do is face it. Really, it becomes a thing that it feels like it's always going to be there, and nothing will ever make it better, and there's no way you're ever going to get out of this. Those are not true. That's just not true. I'm a perfect example of this. In 2000, let me think, in 2011, I was confined to one room of a single-wide mobile home. And I never left. I didn't do any shopping. I didn't go out and do anything. I pretty much didn't have any friends. I didn't get out, anything like that. And because of it, I almost died the next year because I wasn't willing to go to the doctor to get help that I needed with an infection that I had, and I almost died. And so then that was kind of a wake-up call for me, and when I got out of the hospital I said okay, and so I went down to Mexico on vacation, way out of my comfort zone, and ever since then it was a thing of actively pursuing. And I don't want you to feel like there's no end, but accept it as even if there is no end, I'm going to keep fighting this. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not going to let it win. I'm not going to give up my life because of fear. Not only just fear based on nothing. And the thing is, we oftentimes convince ourselves, oh no, I have a reason for my fear. It's justified. I'm afraid that this is going to happen. No fear is ever justified. Fear is something that holds you back and tells you that something is going to happen, but it's usually not something that actually did happen. It's something that you think is going to happen, you perceive is going to happen. So with that, you have to find your calm and just work through things. There are so few of things in life that actually have to be done right now. If you lose your job, you can find another one. If you get kicked out of your house, you can get another one. If somebody doesn't accept you and they write you off, that's all right. It's all right. Just accept things that happen in life. I'm not trying to say don't commit to your life, don't do things. Absolutely do things. Get stuff done. Make friends. Live life to the fullest. Absolutely. Seize the day. But don't feel like at the end of the day that if something falls apart, it's the end of the world. It's all right. It's all right. You'll get through it. And so when you're working through panic attacks, and when you find out how to stop having them, like we're going to talk about today, make sure that you don't go dependent on a person or a thing. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be okay to deal with it as long as that person or that thing's there. But then if they're not there, if they die, if they go on vacation, if you lose your fidget spinner or whatever it is that you have that helps you work through it, if something happens where that thing is not there, your dependence was on the thing, and you do not have power over your panic attacks. Rather, you gave your power to someone else. And I don't want to make this all about power, but with panic attacks, you're going to feel like you are powerless. And it's important that you face that problem head on. Okay? Admit the facts of life that are uncomfortable. A, you can't plan for everything. B, yes, things are going to happen that are outside of your control. And that's okay. You don't have to be in control all the time. It's okay. Rather than deny the fact, accept the fact and embrace the fact. I'm not in control, and that's okay. Okay? But, however, there are still things that you can do, okay, to resolve your issues. So try to find a balance between trying to do everything and not doing anything. Trying to control everything and resigning yourself to not doing anything. There is a middle ground there. Okay, so how do I stop having panic attacks? First step is get out. Get out of the house. Don't sleep all day. Have set times. I get up at this time of day. I go to bed at this time of day. Yes, I know that means you're going to have to stop partying and stuff. I get that. I know it's a bummer. I don't want to change anything in my life, but I want changes to happen in my life. If you want changes to happen in your life, you have to change what you're doing. You can't do the same thing repeatedly and expect a different result. It's just not going to happen. So stop hanging out. Stop going out and partying and doing that kind of nonsense. Set yourself times, because you should respect yourself enough to deal with your problems. You know what I mean? Have respect for yourself. Have some self-respect. Have a set time of getting up. Have a set time of going to sleep. Stop drinking and smoking. Stop those kinds of things. Focus on bettering yourself. Okay. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do all these things at the same time. It's a process. You start with one thing that you want to do. I want to start getting up at this time. You know, oh well, if I go to bed early, I can't get to sleep. I just lay there tossing and turning. Do it anyways. Go to bed at that time anyways, and don't allow yourself to cop out. Don't watch TV. Don't mess around on your phone. Just lie there with your eyes closed. Focus on your breathing. You know, maybe play some soft music in the background. Maybe play an audiobook and just lay there with your eyes closed. You know, you can work through this. You can get victory over this. So get out. You know, make a schedule every morning when you get up. Shave every morning. Brush your teeth every morning. Eat breakfast every morning. Whatever it is, hold yourself to that schedule, because that's going to help you start learning some self-respect. It's going to help you start learning. It's going to help you start learning the steps to work through things, to be dependable, to stick to things, you know, that kind of stuff. Because it's easy when you start going through panic attacks, just let things go. And you don't want to do that. You want to accept things, you want to be calm, but you don't want to just, if it happens, it happens. It is still your life. Take your life, okay? Saying it thing is exercise. Shh. Saying a thing is exercise. You know, get out there. You know, do something. Find an exercise that's fun, because if you don't enjoy your exercise, you're never going to stick with it. It's just never going to happen. So find something you enjoy and stick with that exercise. Exercise every day, at least 30 minutes. You need that movement. Your heart needs that action. And believe it or not, but exercising will help you feel better about yourself. It will release stress. It will help you to not have as many anxiety attacks and those kinds of things. It will help you to feel calmer. And at first, it's going to really be hard, because especially with advanced cases of panic attacks, you're going to have things like where you believe that you're going to die. You know, this workout is going to be the end of me. And it's not really going to be the end of you, but you're going to believe that it's going to be. Third, change your diet. Stay away from breads. I know that's a big statement there, but just trust me on this. Stick to vegetables. A variety. You want a lot of different colors of vegetables. Excuse me. Lower your sugar intake by a lot. A healthy meal should have no more than 40 grams of sugar a day. A healthy female should have no more than about 30. And talk to your doctor maybe a nutritionist to get a specific diet for your body. But you can't eat a bunch of junk and expect your engine to your body, your mind to work well. Stay away from too much dairy. Stay away from caffeine. Are you drinking sodas? Are you drinking coffee? Let's back that up. Maybe don't have any. And just so you know, caffeine-free coffee does still have caffeine in it. I know that sounds ridiculous. Caffeine-free still having caffeine. I know, crazy. When I first heard it, it blew my mind. But that is just how it is. So, you know, watch that caffeine intake. Watch your breads, especially your breads. I don't know what it is about bread, but it really causes a lot more panic attacks. And how you eat. Remember, your body, you're stuck with your body. That you only get one. It's not like a video game where you can restart. So treat your body well. Respect yourself. Love yourself enough to deal with your problems. Fourth off, change your thinking patterns. Stop thinking the way that you're thinking. Do you complain a lot? Are you a negative person? Do you gossip a lot? Are you doing something that you don't believe in? Are you stuck in a job that you feel like maybe you hate this job? It's okay to hate your job, but don't try and chase happiness down. I'm not saying change your job. I'm not saying that at all. Sometimes people need that. Sometimes people need to get a less stressful job. I understand those things. But make sure that you're not just doing things to try and chase happiness. Oh, if I just move, then I'll be happy. If I just change jobs, then I'll be happy. If I just do this or that, no, then I'll be happy. And the truth is, you can't do things to find happiness. Out here isn't going to find happiness. In here is where you're going to make happiness. Okay? And that's a choice that you're going to have to make. It's not just going to accidentally happen. So, you know, stop complaining, stop gossiping, stop thinking negatively. Okay? Start thinking positively. This is a new day. I can do things, you know. Obviously, you shouldn't be self-dependent and completely independent. Those are just bad ideas. Independent people usually are lonely and usually withdraw from others, usually stomp on other people's feelings. You know, independence isn't the goal. The idea is to be dependent in a healthy way. There's a good way of saying that. Fifth, resolve inner and outer conflicts. If you're in a tiff with people, resolve it and do everything you can to bring peace to the situation, and then stop getting in conflicts. Just pull yourself back from conflicts. Don't get involved with quarrels. When people start talking about somebody else, when people start fighting with people, don't have anything to do with it. Just remove yourself from that situation. Okay, that's wisdom there. You know, act in such a way that you are happy with how you acted. Okay, don't let guilt reign in your life. And inner conflicts. Oftentimes we have inner conflicts and we try to resolve it by ignoring it or by entertainment. A lot of people do this. They think that they're happy, but they're just distracted. And don't do that. Face the reality of what's bothering you in your heart. Spiritually, how's that going? Okay. Remember, people are, and I know this is kind of not a very popular view, but people are spiritual. They are, you know, they are emotional. They're expressive. And when you try to live life as just in the physical world, it's unfulfilling, and you're going to have a hard time finding a calm and a peace and a purpose for living. Really, if you don't dig deeper than that. I know it's more comfortable to just resign everything to a test tube. If science is all that there is, then it's just real simple and basic, but everything in us tells us that that's just not how it is. And this view is actually called scientism. It's something that's getting kind of almost to the point of being dangerous. Science can't resolve all issues, and we need to be okay with that. We need to accept that. And we have to work through the things that are bothering for us. And you have to find peace in that. Okay, resolve inner and outer conflicts. Be at peace with yourself, obviously. Accept yourself and others. I covered the thing there. Sorry about that. I hate to have to move this right in the middle of the video. Accept yourself and others. You know, be okay with who you are. And be okay with other people. That's who they are. You can't do anything to change people. You can't do anything to change the situation. You can change yourself, though. And so while accepting yourself, don't just, oh, well, this is who I am. No. Be better. Grow as a person. Okay? Just because you are accepting yourself doesn't mean that you always want to have the same faults that you do. Accept yourself as a person, but grow where you need to grow. Are you a person who always has their mouth open? Maybe you could practice closing your mouth. Are you a person who always has to have the answers? Maybe you could practice listening. Are you a person who feels like they're unimportant? Maybe you could work on more positive thinking. Those kinds of things. And I'm trying to make this not bound to any specific religion or lack of religion. Whatever, I'm trying to make it more inclusive here. So if you're Buddhist or a Christian or whatever, I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm just trying to help you be able to work through these things. And no matter how much you face, you run from it. When you want to work through panic attacks, you have to deal with your spiritual side. You have to deal with your emotional side. Counselors are amazing for dealing with your emotional side, but they're not really going to help that much in the spiritual world. Pastors and monks and those kinds of things, their job is the spiritual world. So you could try something there. But then the physical world, that's something that science can help us in. You know, going to a doctor, you know, getting tested, and that's absolutely something that you should do. You know, talk to your doctor, make sure there are no health concerns. Don't live your life to impress people. Okay, I know a lot of times, especially in high school, and then when we get out of high school, we get this idea that it's a competition. Life is a competition. I have to do this. I have to do this to fit in. And accept yourself and accept the reality of the world. Better yourself, but don't try to impress people. Better yourself because you are committed to being a better person, because you are committed to being a faithful person, because you want to be a better version of yourself, because you want to enjoy life, because you want to have a positive impact on other people. Not because you want to be accepted by people. Not because you want to want to impress people. Now, obviously, you should do things like you should work hard so that your boss is you know, satisfied with your work. Absolutely. You should not live your life for yourself. You shouldn't be self-centered. You should live for other people. You not live for other people, but contribute to other people. Absolutely. So I'm not trying to deny that at all. Not trying to deny that at all. But you do have to, once again, find balance between those things. And I think that's a very important lesson at the end of the day. You have to find balance in your life. You don't have to do nothing but volunteer, but you don't have to only serve yourself. You don't have to stop playing video games, but you do have to make sure that you do it in moderation. Maybe just one day a week. Maybe just an hour, you know, something like that. And at the end of the day, you have to accept where you are in life. I know in the American dream you can always do better, but sometimes you have to realize that this is your life, and that's just how it is. There are things you can change in your life, but then there are other things that you can't. There's this video game called BioShock Infinite, and in it they talk about these different timelines. Long story, but they say this thing that there's constants and variables, things that change and things that are always are the same in the different timelines. And it's kind of that way in life. I'm not saying with the different timelines. I'm saying there's things in your life that will always be there, and there's some things in your life that you can't do anything to change. Okay, the house that you were born into, the color of your skin. There are things that you just can't change no matter how hard you try. Whether or not your parents accepted you as a person, or whether you always felt like they pushed you away and didn't love you, those are things that you can't change. You can free yourself from the guilt. You can resolve the issue. You can forgive them and accept them. But at the end of the day, that situation is still there. It's just how you deal with that situation. And remember, if you refuse to forgive people who've wronged you, you're going to carry around a lot of baggage. And that's going to be something that prevents you from overcoming your panic. So remember that. And I'm not saying, oh, resolve your issues for you. Do everything for you. No, I'm not saying be self-centered. But you do have to realize that at the end of the day, you have to carry your burdens. That's just a fact of life. So commit to things, but don't do things just to impress people. Work on your motives. Why am I really doing this? Am I doing this because I believe in this, or am I doing this because I want other people to think that I'm this kind of a person? Don't stop being faithful. When we start having panic attacks, we think that if we pull back from things, it'll help us get our mind on straight. Don't do that. Work through the issues, but don't pull back. And then learn how to have them. Learn how to have a panic attack. When you're in it, what do you do while you're having them? You know, and I have another video that I'm posting about how to get through a panic attack. Watch that if you need help on that. You know, learn how to have them. Learn how to work through them. Learn what triggers them. Learn, or maybe nothing triggers them. You know, learn these things. Keep a note, a journal, and every time that it happens, record that it happened. You know, and learn how to have them. Learn the times that you're more likely to have them. Those kinds of things, and work through it. Remember, you can do it. You're able to get through this, and just keep on staying focused with this, because you can overcome it. So if you have any questions, I am posting advice videos. If you like this, share it with your friends, or if you know somebody who needs it, and don't be afraid to ask questions if you need help with anything. Okay, see ya.